Hi, my name is Emily Hayner, and this is my formal analysis project on the Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci. My introduction. The Mona Lisa was painted by Leonardo da Vinci from 1503 to 1519, in groups and phases of time. The Mona Lisa is in a group of works painted during a time called the High Renaissance, where artists focused on realism and humanism. They also focused on the balance and harmony of nature with humans. The name Mona Lisa came from the sitter, who is thought to be Lisa Giraldini, the wife of wealthy Florentine cloth merchant Francesco del Giocondo. Mona is actually a contraction of the Italian word Madonna, that means my lady. This results in My Lady Lisa. By the 19th century, Mona Lisa had an alternative name of La Gioconda, which is the feminine form of Giocondo. My thesis statement. The Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci is a historically important piece of art that uses design characteristics such as contrasting light and dark and fumato techniques that can be attributed to the High Renaissance era. Since the purpose of the Mona Lisa has been questioned throughout history, it is applicable to many philosophies, such as formal and expressive theory. Description. The Mona Lisa is a representational painting of a human woman, since it is a painting of a 2D woman done in a half-body portrait style. The Mona Lisa is actually relatively small in person, at 2 feet 6 inches by 1 foot 9 inches. Many people actually find it underwhelming when seeing it in the Louvre. Da Vinci painted it with different techniques of oil paints called Cinquecento, which were replacing the matte colors that were popular in the 15th century. The elements of design that are incorporated into the piece are Da Vinci's use of light and dark colors, the oily texture from the paints, the blurry line shapes from the fumato, and the seamless value of colors. Description. What's pictured? Well, we have a lot of forestry and green area around us here, and we have a lot of land grass. We have Lisa Giraldini, or the sitter in the painting, or Mona Lisa in the main foreground. We have dirt path and terrain around, making a path and curves, and the curves will be important later. Lisa Giraldini, or Mona Lisa, is actually wearing a veil as well as extensive amounts of robes. Description: historical context. The Mona Lisa is a historical piece of artwork that was made between 1503 to 1519 while Da Vinci was living in Florence, Italy. At the time, Italian art was going through an era called the High Renaissance, which was characterized by its appreciation for harmony in nature and balance. The commissioning of art was becoming more popular as the merchant middle class grew and established private patronage of the arts instead of it being from a church-related aspect. This is why the Mona Lisa was commissioned by Francesco del Giocondo. He was becoming more wealthy and could afford to commission Da Vinci to paint a portrait of his wife. Analysis. Da Vinci contrasts Mona Lisa's brightly colored face with darker tone attributes such as her hair, veil, and clothing. In the High Renaissance of art in Italy, a new aesthetic named fumato was very popular. This is a form of shading that resulted in soft outlines or hazy forms. This form of shading created implied lines that allowed for a directional force that fades in and out of each other. Since Da Vinci used oil paints to create the Mona Lisa, the painting has a shine to it, especially on the city's skin. His focal texture further brightens his painting and adds to the contrast of the piece. Due to aging, the Mona Lisa showed signs of thin cracks in the paint, called craquelure. However, the lines are thinner on the woman's hands due to Da Vinci using several layers of thin glaze on them. Multiple websites mention that the curves of the sitter's hair and clothing are repeated and similar to the curves of the rivers and road in the background. This would be a repetitive pattern throughout the painting or a motif. Interpretation. This painting was about the Mona Lisa being a portrait of Francesco del Giocondo's wife, Lisa Geraldini. However, Da Vinci also incorporated the ideas of nature and creating harmony from the High Renaissance in Italy by using the fumato to echo the curves from the forest in the background and the curves of Mona Lisa, so that they all kind of blend together. Also, Lisa was known as a beautiful, young, fertile, and the commission likely served as Giocondo's source of pride in his wife. This could explain how Mona Lisa is depicted as honest and pure through her bright skin and lack of jewelry or makeup. Da Vinci used his typical elements of design in order to express the natural grace of Mona Lisa for Giocondo. Some examples are lighting, contrast, graceful figures, blurred lines, and a feeling of calmness. The name Mona Lisa is important to the interpretation of the piece because it identifies the subject of the city in the painting and why she is shown as an ideal woman in the High Renaissance of Italy. Judgment Part 1. The Mona Lisa for formalism. The Mona Lisa is an excellent painting when judged through formalism because Da Vinci's attention to detail. It is evident through the shapes and features of the city, such as her bone structure, that the technique is impeccable. The natural colors of the background allow for the serene feeling the audience gets from the painting. Contextualism. Due to the Mona Lisa being a commission of Giocondo's wife, I wouldn't believe his intentions to be world change. At the time of the painting, the Mona Lisa, Da Vinci had just turned down a commission from Isabella d'Este of Milan because he doubted her ability to pay him. As a result, he accepted the commission to paint the Mona Lisa under financial concern, since he had several crewmates and people in his studio. Since contextualism disregards the artist's private emotions, the Mona Lisa is a poor painting from the theory of contextualism art. Expressism. The Mona Lisa can be judged by the expressivism perspective by being excellent. This because the Mona Lisa has good formal and technical organization and can affect an audience by producing a happy or calming feeling. Also, Da Vinci based the portrait on the reality of the settee sitting in front of him and used this to make a profound impact on the viewers of the painting. Both the contextual and expressivism theory capture meaning behind the Mona Lisa. I see the contextual attributes of the painting, which are Da Vinci's amazing technique and artistic skill. However, I believe the expressivism theory is what applies to the Mona Lisa today because it allows for many audiences to feel emotion through a new age of women in art. Conclusion. In conclusion, the Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci is a very influential piece in history that is a prime example of art during the High Renaissance in Italy. Da Vinci uses his incredible techniques, such as fumato and contrasting light and darkness, to create the sense of calm that is commonly presented in his works. The information found about Da Vinci's financial motivations for creating the Mona Lisa allowed me to judge more accurately that the painting fits best by the formal and expressivism theories. Overall, Leonardo was an artist with an amazing artistic technique, and his artwork caused emotional connections later on in history. Thank you.